Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to see if I can get this old truck to run. Yeah, so regular viewers, you know that this isn't my normal content, but I've kind of been inspired by some other YouTubers out there to try and get this thing to run. There's a lot of channels on YouTube, Vice Grip Garage, Junkyard Digs. They take old cars that have been sitting for a long time and just get them running. And this truck has been sitting for a long time. This is my dad's 1983 Chevy, Square Body, Scottsdale. It has been sitting for at least 10 or 15 years. Yeah, he was kind of setting this thing up to be a farm truck, and then some stuff happened and it's been sitting here for a long time. So, give you a little bit of a background about this truck. Like I said, it's an 83. Dad bought it from a local guy. He had it painted this green color. It had the regular bed on it, and he drove it like that for a long time. And the engine that was in there just started getting tired, and so he decided he was going to turn it into a legitimate farm truck. He bought this flatbed for it, bought another square body with a good engine, took the engine out of that, put that in this truck. I think it's a 350. I'm pretty sure he put 1-ton axles under it. I don't really know what I'm looking at to be able to tell if that's what's on there or not, but after we get this video out, we'll see if Dad can verify that. And the reason why I haven't asked him is I kind of want to surprise him. This truck's been sitting for a long time, and I want to get it running. I want to kind of finish the project and make a farm truck for Dad. So we're going to see if we can at least get it to fire today. Probably won't be able to get it to move because, well, tires are going to be my main issue. And yeah, I just want to hear it run. So that's my goal for today. Let's take a walk around this thing, look at it, and see what we got. So overall, I would say it's a pretty solid truck. Got a little bit of rust up here on this front quarter panel. Not terrible. Hood's in good shape. Everything's straight. I don't think there's any dents in it. This fender is a little better than the other side. Got a little bit of bubbling there. Doors got some rust at the bottom. Rockers are pretty good. Cab corners are bubbling, but they're still pretty solid. We'll save the interior for now. It's got this flatbed on it. The deck is completely rotted off, just from sitting here for a while. It had a DMI bumper on it, but we took it off and put it on a different truck, so I can't even look at the license plate to see what the year is on the sticker. So if you guys watch Vice Grip Garage, he always says to start in the back of the vehicle, whether it's a trunk or a truck bed. Look for parts, and that'll give you some clues as to why it's not running. As you can see, we don't have any parts back here. Nothing to look at back here. So we're going to move on to the interior, I guess. I guess we could look in this toolbox. What's in here? Oh, okay. Got some tools, jump box. It's actually really dry. Oh, here's a battery cover for the M carburetor. I do remember him having carburetor issues. I don't know. I remember him swapping it and rebuilding one. This is a Quadrajet. I don't know much about carburetors. That might be my main issue getting this thing running. Not much to see in there. Let's take a look inside. Doesn't smell great, that's for sure. Dash panel is out. I wonder what's oh yeah, I took the radio out of this and put it in my Jeep. I used to have a Jeep for a while and I needed a radio, so I took the one out of here. Definitely been a village of mice living in here. Weather stripping's falling down. Got some paperwork. Was there a date on this calendar? No, there's not. Just a girl in a bikini. Anyways, interior is fine. Dash is, look at that. I wonder if that works. Probably not. Okay. Is the key in it? Key's in it. I'm gonna pop the hood open now. I actually fought this hood for about 2 hours the other day. The hood release latch is stuck, and it's actually still up there. I could not get it to release. I ended up making a rod to come in here to grab the little lever. That's what I saw to do online, and it was just seized so bad. I ended up hooking the cable and pulling the cable out, cutting it to try and pull on it, and it was still stuck. So what I ended up doing was I had to wedge the hood open and just take these two bolts out. And as you can see, it's basically just part of the hood now. It's gonna stay there forever. All right, so looking under the hood here, I'm pretty sure it's a 350. I know it's a small block. I can tell because of the intake, or I'm sorry, the exhaust manifolds. Pretty sure it's 350. We'll have to do some digging, or we can just ask Dad. Missing the oil fill cap, so that's probably full of dirt and water. The other day when I was out here, I think that's PCV thing was unhooked, so that valve cover is probably full of dirt and water, so that's great. We got two batteries in here because it had the snowplow on it, and these have been sitting for a long time, so they're probably not good. Got another battery that I stole out of another truck and charged it up. I'm gonna go grab that now. That battery was also dead, so it probably won't hold a charge and it probably won't work. So I'm probably gonna have to take the battery out of my farm truck to see if I can get this thing to turn over. Speaking of turn over, let's see if the engine is free before we do anything else. Oh man. Let's see. If I just pull on the fan. Oh, yep. Oh yeah, she's free. Feels like it's got decent compression. Kind of stopped right there. Oh. Yeah, it's spinning. It's free. We're good. So I just popped this battery out. The battery tray, it's not completely gone. There's still a little bit there. Looking at this frame ground, it is seen better days. Not real great. I'm just gonna take care of that right now before I do anything, because I don't want this jumping across to the hot and starting an electrical fire. So I'm gonna cut that off of there and see if I can just either splice into that maybe. I don't know. I might just make a new jumper wire to shoot over here for a frame ground before I put the battery in. But we need to get rid of that. That is not good. Also, see, there's a wire that goes to the starter solenoid that is cut off. Not sure where that goes to. Here's a wire here. Not sure where that goes to. Probably just gonna have to jump it. Oh, that's loose. Okay. We're gonna have to do some investigating in here. But I can just jump it for now. All right, let's go. Let's go get a battery. So like I said, this battery came out of, well, another farm truck actually. We got a lot of farm trucks around here. This came out of our 93 1-ton dually, black. You may have seen it. If you're not new to the channel, we had the battery unhooked because that truck has something that draws the battery down, and the battery was still dead. So that means this battery's probably junk, but we'll give it a try anyway. Let's see. Got a new body ground wire. All I had was white, so that's wrong, but we're gonna go with it. This was over to there. This was our ground. This one I need to unhook because that goes over to the other battery, which we're gonna do away with for now. So I'll just stick that up there. Yeah, we should be good to go. You know what, I was just looking. I thought this was a starter solenoid, but it's not. That wire goes that way. That is for the snowplow, so I need to unhook that one. We don't need that right now. I just need the two main battery cables hooked up and my body ground, and we should be good. Everything else is bonded together here for the frame ground and stuff, so we can eliminate that guy, and we don't need the snowplow right now. It's a beautiful day. It's about 60 degrees. I'm gonna have to lose this jacket pretty soon. Battery's hooked up. I didn't hear any popping or sparking or fizzing, and don't smell any smoke, so should be okay. There's some bare wires sticking out here and there. Not sure what that's all about. So as I suspected, this battery is pretty weak. It's only got 11.6 volts. I think my next step, why are there plug wires unhooked? We only got 6 plug wires hooked up to the distributor. Anyways, I was going to check for spark. I got to figure out where those plug wires went. Well, there's one. There's one. Okay. There should be another one over there somewhere. Yeah, we'll find it. I don't know why those are unhooked. Anyways, I'm going to check for spark. That kind of, is that an HEI? I'm not sure. Kind of looks like an HEI distributor, but then again, I don't really know what I'm looking at. So we're going to try and diagnose that. If that is an HEI, I won't be able to check for spark at the points because it doesn't have any points. So I'm just going to go turn the key on and see if we got juice. See what's going on here. Steering wheel's all the way down. Oh, the clock works. Nothing happens when I roll the key forward. That broke off. Does the CB work? Nope. Do I just bump it and see what happens? Nothing. When I do that, the clock stops. And the needle is broke off the battery gauge, so going to have to do some diagnosing here. Well, just as I suspected, the battery out of the black truck was junk, so I got the battery out of my farm truck. We'll see what happens now. That one's good and charged up. Clock's on. Well, the key on. Oh, we have a horn now. Oh, she turned over. Doesn't sound good. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do that a little bit more. It doesn't sound great, but anyways, we're gonna check for spark, I guess. Pop that distributor cap off and see what we're working with. Alright, so I was trying to figure out what was going on here. Cylinder number 6 was unplugged. So, is this number 1? 1, 8, 4, 3, 6. So number 5 should be unplugged. I don't really know why. I'm going to plug them in for now. That way I know what's going on here. So this one should also be unplugged. Yep, cylinder number 5. We'll just stick that on there for now, and then maybe we'll try. There it goes. We'll pop that cap off and see what we're working with. So I got this cap off of here. It's probably going to be hard for you to see, but there's some gunk on those points in there, the contacts, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to clean those up a little bit, and I don't know if I can clean this top contactor up. Maybe clean that one up. I don't think there's a real great way. I think this is an HEI. Is that what that is? It's got this big thing on the top. I don't see any points in there. It's got to be. I'm not super experienced. This is my first time, I guess. Anyways, I don't think there's a great way to check for spark on an HEI. I might have to Google that. Might have to just pull a plug and crank it over and see what happens. But I'm going to clean that up, put it back together, and I guess probably just put some gas in the carb and see if it fires. If I have spark. Gotta check for spark first. See what happens. If I can get it to fire, then I know it will run, and then I can do some more work to it. I'm going to have to buy some parts after that. So today's goal, just see if it'll fire. So if I am able to get this truck to run, I won't be able to run it very long, because the main reason it was parked was after Dad got the engine swapped, the axle swapped, the flatbed on, all that done, drove it for a little bit, and one of the freeze plugs blew out. And I guess at the time, he didn't want to deal with it, so here it sits. That being said, I can't put any coolant in it because there's a freeze plug blown out, so if it does run, that's going to have to be one of the first things that we address. I did go ahead and order a set of freeze plugs because they're like 15 bucks, and if this thing doesn't run, I'm only out 15 bucks, so see what we can do here. That's going to have to be addressed first of all. Go from there, I guess. Got this guy cleaned up and plopped back on here. Let's see. What do I got to do for this? Oh, that's got to be turned that away. I made sure and marked where number 1 was plugged in at. As long as you know the firing order, 1843657 you're able to figure it out from there, as long as you got number 1 in the right spot. There's that one. Oh, I gotta get one more in the back. This is kind of a pain. There we go. That's back on. Got plug wires hooked up. Here's number 1. Goes by the paint mark. And then I need number 8. And so on. Just follow it all around. Man, this carb looks rough. Although I don't really know what I'm looking at. Anybody in there? Well, anyways, we'll figure out how to check for spark. Gonna Google that before we dump some fuel in it and see if it'll pop off. Alright, so I didn't really find an easy way. Actually, to be honest, I didn't really look that hard. I decided I'm just gonna plop a plug out and lay it here and see if it sparks, but I gotta go into the cab to turn the key, so you guys watch and tell me if that sparks. Then when I get done, I'll come look and see. Look at the video, see if it sparks. See what happens here. Boy, that sounds terrible. Okay, so there was no spark, but I realized I forgot to hook up these wires over here that tell the thing to do the stuff, and didn't get any spark. So I'm going to set you guys up again, this time a little bit closer so I can see, and then tell me if we got spark this time. Doesn't sound good. It was hard to see, but I think I did see a little bit of spark in there. So we're gonna pour some gas down the throat and see what we got. I guess it's not turning over very well. I'm thinking that starter's about shot. It she doesn't have very much power. I got good juice to the battery. I put new bolts in here, cleaned up these terminal ends, so I know we have a good connection there. I guess my connection at the starter could be bad, but it does turn over a little bit. I'm just gonna pour some gas in and see what happens. I got this chainsaw fuel, VP small engines. It's got some oil in it. Since this thing's been sitting so long, I don't want to just pour straight gas down it. So pour some gas in, see what we got, I guess. I think that's a vent tube. Just try and pour it down there. Hope I don't make a huge mess here. It's probably way too much. Pour some down there. I don't know what I'm doing. Sure. Do a little more. See what happens. See if it'll bark. Yeah, I just don't think that starter is going to hold on for us. It did kind of sound like it tried to do something there. It's not even turning over fast enough to do anything. I think my starter shot. Might have to pop that off of there and go to town and see if we can find a starter. And then go from there. It did, I don't know, do you guys think it sounded like it kind of tried to fire a little bit? Did it suck any of that gas up? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to try it one more time. Starter's already shot, so pour a little bit more gas down the vent tube. And a little splash in there, a little splash in there. Probably too much. Whatever. I don't care. See what happens this time. Maybe get a little bit more gas in the bowl. It's wanting to fire. Is that a vent tube in the back there? I don't really know. Let's pour some in there. I don't know what I'm doing. Put gas everywhere. See if it'll fire. Kind of excited now. All right, she's I think it's gonna run. I heard some stuff flying out of the pipe. Yep, see, we got a little smoke. She fired. Got a mouse nest in there. That could also be part of our problem. Need to just get it running and blow that crap out of there. I didn't even think about this fuel pump, unhooking that. It's probably pulling some nasty fuel up in there. I think it's gonna run though. Oh, we got a little smoke here, got a little bit of blow by. It's doing stuff. I think we need to get a starter and probably just get a battery for this. We might as well trade in that old one. Get a battery for this. I think it's gonna run. I really don't want to end this video with this truck not running. I really want to hear it run, at least, even if it's just for a couple seconds. It did fire. It tried to fire. I dumped a little bit more gas in it. There's a bunch of stuff coming out the exhaust. I'm sure that's not helping our situation. We got smoke coming out of the valve cover, so it's doing stuff. I really just want to hear it run a little bit. More gas. It's so close to running. Every time it fires a little bit, I hear stuff flying out of the exhaust. Just a little bit. Right down there. Okay, that's more than I wanted. Try this one more time and see what happens. I'm really thinking the issue is just the plugged exhaust, but it is running-ish. I don't know if I showed you this already, but mouse nest came out of there. Can we see anything else in there? Just some smoke. But yeah, every time it fires a little bit, I hear little pieces of stuff fly out and hit the shed over there. So it's definitely got some mouse nest up in the exhaust. It's got dual exhaust. I don't know if there's a crossover pipe or not. The starter's actually sounding like it's coming around a little bit. It's maybe the engine's getting lubrication and whatnot. Are we getting any oil up top? I do not know. I don't really see any. Probably hasn't built oil pressure yet. I did check the oil the other day. It's got oil in it. It's close. I guess the only thing else I could do is check the firing order, but it sounded like it was right. When it did fire, it sounded right. It wasn't backfiring or anything. I got the bowl filled, and squirters are not squirting. So I'm guessing this carb is just too far gone. I know he had some trouble with carb before it got parked. That's why I was assuming that this one was going to be junk. So I was planning on replacing it with something else. Probably an Edelbrock. Yeah, we're not getting anything. Man, I really want to hear it run. Let's give it a little splash. Oh, we're getting some fuel leaking there. Why are you leaking? I don't know. All right, one more time, then we're done. I said this before, but this is the last time. We're gonna try it once, see what happens, and then figure out a parts list. It's idling. How? How is this possible? Oh man. It might be pulling fuel from the tank. I knew I was close. It's got to be pulling fuel from the tank. Surely it would have sucked the bowl dry by now. There she goes. It ran. I can't believe it. That was incredible. All right, it runs. I'm so happy. I wish I could. I wish I had an inline fuel filter to see if it was pulling fuel from the tank or not. But she ran. I can't believe it. I think the last thing I'm gonna do before I go is I want to. That didn't feel good. I need another wrench. I want to pop that fuel inlet off and see if it's pulling fuel from the tank. If I do end up putting an Edelbrock on here, it has a little bit different configuration, so I'm gonna have to cut this line. But I just want to see if that fuel pump's working. If it is, I'm gonna have to probably drain the tanks. It's got 2 tanks. Figure out which one it's pulling from, drain it, and put some fresh gas in it. And then, I guess I never looked at the oil pressure gauge. Anyways, reconfigure that, get some fresh gas in it, see if we can get it to actually run and stay running. I mean, I guess 15-year-old gas is probably not in the best shape. It'd be good for lighting brush fires. Got plenty of those. Yeah, we're not getting any fuel from the tank, so it was just running on whatever was in the bowl. I might see if I can get it. Shoot, I wish I had a can or something to stick that in. I was gonna say I might see if I could try to get it to run again long enough to start pulling fuel from the tank, and then I would know that that fuel pump's good. but she might not be great. I forgot to hit record, but I got it to idle again, and I put my finger on here, and the fuel pump is working. It's just not getting any fuel from the tank, which is fine because that fuel is probably in really bad shape. So I'm probably gonna rig up a temporary fuel system, like just a gas can or something and some fuel hose, to see if I can get it running enough to get it to the shop. It's not gonna be today. On the next episode of this, whatever this is, we'll try and get some tires on it and run it on a temporary fuel source just for now, and get in the shop and actually do some work, because now that it ran, I'm gonna have to address that freeze plug, because without that, it's basically useless. Can't keep cooling in it. So yeah, I can't resist. I gotta hear it run one more time. All right, I'll let you rest, girl. You're tired. We got to hear it run. I'm so excited. I can't believe I actually was able to make it run. That was really fun. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. Got to hear it run. That was awesome. Idled. I can't believe it idled for probably, what, 30, 40 seconds maybe. It sounded good. It sounded healthy. Not really sure on the oil pressure. I didn't really get a good look at that. I wasn't really thinking. I was just happy to hear it run. It's been a long time since this old girl ran. Like I said, 10, 15 years. I think what we're going to do on part 2 of this video is, the first thing we'll do is cut that tree down, because we can't really move it with that in the way. Try and get this thing up in the air, get some tires on it. This one is holding air. I don't know how, but it is. We might be able to get air in 3 of the 4. That one's completely off the rim, so that one might be a little more of a challenge. We've got some spare tires that we could take out of the shed, put on it. I want to get it running and moved over to the shop and address that freeze plug issue. Probably do some work to the carburetor and see if we can just make a decent truck out of this thing. I'm pretty excited. I love these old trucks, and I just hated seeing this one sit out here rotten like this. So anyways, thanks for watching. That's it for this video. Stick around for episode 2. I'm gonna get my battery out and stick it back in my truck so I can go home. Just can't go anywhere without a battery. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.